You trip over your words during a presentation. You spill coffee on your shirt before a date. You forget someone's name at the worst possible moment. Feels awkward. Embarrassing. Like everything's ruined. But what if I told you that these little blunders might actually make people like you more? Welcome to the strange and surprisingly comforting world of the Pratfall Effect. A psychological phenomenon that suggests your mistakes might be the secret ingredient to your likability. In today's video, we're diving into the science behind this effect, what it means for confidence, perfectionism, and real human connection, and how you can actually use it to your advantage. So if you've ever beaten yourself up for being too clumsy or not polished enough, this one's for you. Let's dig in. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the Pratfall Effect? The name comes from slapstick comedy. Think of someone slipping on a banana peel or tripping on stage. A pratfall is basically a clumsy, noticeable mistake. In psychology, the pratfall effect refers to how highly competent people actually become more likable when they make a small, harmless blunder. That's right. Messing up can increase your likability if people already see you as competent. Sounds backwards. We usually think making a mistake will hurt our image. But in reality, perfection can make someone seem cold, distant, or unrelatable. A small error, like spilling coffee or forgetting a line, adds warmth and humanity. It says, "Hey, I'm human too." And that can be powerful. So where does this idea come from? A social psychologist named Elliot Aronson was the first to test the theory. In a now-famous experiment, he recorded actors answering quiz questions. Some got nearly every answer right, others not so much. Then in some recordings the actor spilled coffee at the end. In others they didn't. Here's what they found. When the competent quiz taker made a small mistake, listeners found them more likable. But when an average performer made the same mistake, their likability actually went down. In other words, the blunder didn't help everyone. It helped those who already seemed smart, skilled, or put together. This is key. The pratfall effect works when the mistake humanizes someone, not when it confirms doubts about their ability. So why does this happen? The answer lies in how we perceive other people, and what we crave in our social connections. When we meet someone who seems perfect, we often admire them, but we also feel distance. They seem untouchable, flawless, almost too good. But the moment they show a crack, stumble over a word, laugh at themselves, admit a mistake, we feel closer to them. We're reminded that they're like us. And we like people who feel real. It's the same reason we're drawn to behind-the-scenes bloopers, or why celebrities go viral for unfiltered moments. Perfection is impressive, but imperfection is relatable. In a world filled with polished social media profiles and curated public images, a moment of vulnerability can stand out in the best way. Here's another way to understand the pratfall effect, through the lens of warmth and competence. Social psychologists say we judge people on two major traits: how competent they are and how warm they seem. Competence earns respect. Warmth earns trust. When someone appears highly competent, they might be admired, but they can also come off as distant or intimidating. That's where the pratfall comes in. A small mistake adds warmth to the mix, making the person feel more approachable. It balances the equation. You could say the pratfall effect softens the edges of competence. It doesn't make you less smart, it just makes you more human. But hold up, it's not a license to start spilling coffee or botching interviews on purpose. The pratfall effect is subtle. It works in very specific situations, and not everyone benefits from it. If someone is already seen as average or underperforming, a mistake might confirm negative perceptions. In those cases, it doesn't come across as endearing, it comes across as careless. Also, the type of mistake matters. Harmless, relatable blunders are fine. But serious errors, like lying, offending someone, or being reckless, can do real damage no matter how likable you are. So the takeaway isn't mistakes are good. It's that small imperfections can enhance likability when they contrast with competence. The key is the balance. Think about public figures or celebrities who are wildly admired but became even more beloved after messing up. Maybe a famous athlete tripped during a press event, then laughed it off. Maybe a politician made a self-deprecating joke after mispronouncing a word. Or maybe your favorite YouTuber left in a blooper and it made you smile. These moments create intimacy. They pull back the curtain. Even in everyday life you've probably felt this too. Maybe your teacher spilled water and made a joke and suddenly the room relaxed. Or your boss forgot a password during a meeting and admitted it with a grin. These aren't signs of incompetence. They're invitations for connection. So here's the big question. How can you use the Pratfall effect without forcing it? First, focus on building competence. That's your foundation. Be good at what you do, take pride in your skills and know your stuff. Once that's established, allow room for vulnerability. Don't panic over every stumble. Don't hide your flaws. If you make a small mistake, acknowledge it lightly and move on. Let's say you're in a job interview and accidentally mispronounce a word. Instead of freezing, you could smile and say, "Wow, I practiced this all morning and still flubbed it. Nerves, I guess." Then move right back into your strengths. Or maybe you're on a first date and spill water. Instead of panicking, you could laugh and say, "I promise I'm usually more coordinated." These moments disarm people. They make you feel accessible and confident, not in spite of the mistake but because you handled it with grace. Now let's talk about perfectionism. Many of us believe that to be respected, loved, or successful we need to be flawless. That's a heavy weight to carry. And it's also wrong. Perfection might impress people, but it rarely inspires connection. The Pratfall effect reminds us that vulnerability is part of the human experience. Being seen, messy, honest, real, is often what people remember most. When you show up with your strengths and your flaws, you give others permission to do the same. That's where genuine connection lives. So instead of trying to hide every imperfection, ask yourself, what would it mean if I just showed up as I am? True confidence isn't about never messing up. It's about knowing who you are even when you mess up. People who are secure in their abilities don't unravel over small slip-ups. They own them. They laugh at themselves. They keep going. In fact, showing that you're not shaken by mistakes can actually signal more confidence. So if you're someone who gets rattled easily by little errors, it might help to reframe those moments. They're not failures. They're opportunities for relatability, connection, and growth. And the irony? The more comfortable you are with imperfection, the more people may admire you. Your mistakes might be your magic. Here's the big takeaway. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be flawless to be respected. And sometimes it's the coffee spill, the stutter, or the awkward moment that makes someone say, "You know what? I really like this person." That's the magic of the Pratfall effect. It doesn't mean you should aim to mess up. It means you don't need to fear it. Because often, those unscripted, vulnerable moments are where the best parts of being human live. This video made you feel just a little better about being imperfect. Give it a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more psychology, connection, and real talk about the weirdness of being human. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you trip on your way out, just smile. You might be even more likable because of it.